The Galactic Empire's fleet arrived above Earth like a tidal wave of shimmering metal, their ships stretching as far as the eye could see. Their confidence was palpable, even from orbit, as their comm channels broadcast messages of superiority. To them, Earth was nothing more than a primitive world, its defenses outdated relics of a bygone era. Their shields were impenetrable, their weapons unmatched, and their technology centuries ahead of anything humanity could muster, or so they believed. On Earth, humanity stood united, its leaders addressing a planet-wide broadcast. The message was clear: we will not surrender. We will not bow. We will fight, no matter the odds. Across the globe, a mix of defiance and dread rippled through the populace. The sight of the Empire's ships blotting out the sky was overwhelming, but Earth had faced extinction before. Whether through natural disasters, internal wars, or pandemics, humanity had always found a way to endure. The Empire launched its first wave of probes and reconnaissance drones, gliding effortlessly through Earth's atmosphere. Their purpose was to study Earth's defenses, catalog every piece of outdated technology, and mock it later in their broadcasts. The data they gathered only reinforced their arrogance. From their perspective, Earth's missiles and aircraft posed no more threat than pebbles hurled at a fortress wall. Earth responded swiftly, launching squadrons of fighter jets and salvos of long-range missiles. The weapons soared into the sky with precision, their operators determined to put up a fight no matter the odds. But as they reached their targets, the Empire's shields flared with dazzling bursts of light, absorbing the attacks without a single scratch. The Galactic fleet didn't even bother to retaliate. Instead, they broadcast an open message to the planet. Is this all your species has to offer? Surrender now, and we may spare your lives. But humanity wasn't fighting for mercy. Deep within Earth's military command centers, strategists and engineers were monitoring every engagement, studying the energy signatures of the Empire's shields. Their eyes weren't on the failures but on the patterns emerging with each strike. In a fortified underground facility, a group of scientists huddled around monitors, exchanging hurried calculations and theories. They knew the truth: Earth's conventional arsenal would never pierce those shields. But humanity had one trait the Empire underestimated: its ability to adapt under pressure. For months, teams of researchers had been working on Project Shatterpoint, a top-secret initiative that had pushed the limits of human ingenuity. It wasn't a single weapon or system but a culmination of Earth's most advanced experimental technologies, designed to exploit weaknesses the Empire didn't even realize it had. As the Empire's fleet hovered in orbit, preparing for what they assumed would be a ceremonial display of power, Earth's forces were quietly moving into position. Hidden within mountain ranges and deep ocean trenches were the first components of Project Shatterpoint. Engineers worked tirelessly, their hands steady despite the weight of their task. The Empire's mistake was in their hubris. They believed no one could challenge their might. Humanity had taken that assumption and turned it into a weapon. The Galactic commanders watched Earth's futile resistance with amusement. They saw only desperation in the waves of missiles and jets, completely unaware that each launch was part of a larger plan. The probes they sent back to their motherships carried streams of data, but none of it alerted them to the growing danger. Their arrogance blinded them, just as humanity had hoped. Activate Project Shatterpoint, came the terse order from Earth's Central Command. Across the globe, hidden installations came to life. Railguns powered up with a low hum, their magnetic coils glowing as they charged. Experimental kinetic weapons, capable of firing projectiles at hypersonic speeds, were locked onto targets. Laser-guided systems calibrated with precision, each operator knowing this was their moment to make history. As the first wave of Shatterpoint weapons fired, humanity held its collective breath. Enormous projectiles tore through the sky, leaving trails of fire and light. The Empire's shields flared as expected, but this time, something changed. A massive cruiser, one of the largest in the fleet, shuddered. The impact hadn't just been absorbed, it had overloaded the shield in a localized area, creating a cascade failure. The sight was met with stunned silence aboard the Empire's command ship. For the first time in centuries, one of their vessels had taken damage in battle. The Galactic commanders dismissed it as a fluke, ordering the affected ship to retreat for repairs. But the next volley was already in motion, and this time, multiple ships were struck. Shield generators faltered, exposing vulnerable hulls. Explosions erupted across the fleet, fragments of once impenetrable vessels raining down into Earth's atmosphere. Panic rippled through the galactic ranks. The commanders barked orders, their once calm demeanor replaced with frantic urgency. They had prepared for a ceremonial display of superiority, not an actual fight. Yet here they were, witnessing the unthinkable, their unbreakable fleet being systematically dismantled by a species they had dismissed as insignificant. The people of Earth watched with a mix of awe and exhilaration as their defenses began to turn the tide. For the first time since the invasion began, hope surged through humanity. The Empire's arrogance had been their undoing, and now the fight was just beginning. The first impacts were more than just physical, they were psychological. The Galactic Empire, rulers of countless star systems, had watched in disbelief as one of their cruisers was struck down. The unbreakable myth of their fleet had shattered, replaced by the unmistakable sight of human ingenuity defying impossible odds. The commander of the fleet barked orders, demanding immediate shield recalibrations and defensive maneuvers, but the damage was done. Humanity had delivered a message that reverberated across the galaxy. They were not prey. On Earth, the tension shifted. Where fear had ruled moments before, determination now surged. Coordinated strikes from Project Shatterpoint targeted the Empire's fleet with surgical precision. Railgun rounds, traveling at speeds the Empire's systems struggled to track, bypassed their shields entirely. Advanced missile systems, designed to adapt mid-flight, exploited tiny gaps in the Empire's defenses. Each hit was another blow to the Empire's arrogance, another ship falling victim to what they had once dismissed as primitive tactics. The Galactic commanders scrambled to adjust. They attempted to analyze the human strategy, but every solution they proposed seemed to crumble under the pressure of humanity's relentless assault. Their fleets had always relied on shield superiority, and without it, their bulky ships became cumbersome targets. Desperation seeped into their voices as they ordered retaliatory strikes, but Earth's forces were prepared. Decades of war simulations and disaster planning had made humans masters of rapid adaptation. The counterattacks were either intercepted or outmaneuvered entirely. Across the globe, people united in ways never before seen. Civilians joined the effort, whether by providing logistical support or simply spreading messages of hope. In underground bunkers, technicians and engineers worked tirelessly, fine-tuning the weapon systems between volleys. Scientists monitored real-time data from the battles, tweaking algorithms and refining targeting systems to exploit the Empire's every weakness. Humanity was learning in real time, adapting faster than the Empire could react. The Empire's fleet was not without its own countermeasures. Massive plasma cannons rained down destruction, leveling unpopulated areas and causing catastrophic damage to Earth's infrastructure. Yet, these strikes failed to break humanity's resolve. For every weapon the Empire deployed, humanity found a way to mitigate its impact. Shielding bunkers absorbed plasma waves, mobile anti-aircraft systems repositioned before they could be targeted, and decoy networks confused the Empire's targeting AI. What frustrated the Empire most was humanity's unpredictability. Galactic warfare had always followed certain rules, a predictable chess game played over centuries. But humans didn't play by those rules. They exploited loopholes, took calculated risks, and deployed technology that was both familiar and entirely alien to the Empire. It was this blend of old and new that turned the tide. Kinetic weapons from an era the Empire had long discarded worked in tandem with cutting-edge guidance systems, creating a fusion of innovation and tradition that the Empire could not counter. As the battle raged on, the Galactic commanders were forced to confront a harsh truth. They had underestimated Earth. What they saw as weakness, humanity's lack of advanced technology, was actually its greatest strength. Humans had been forced to survive with less, to innovate under pressure, and to make the impossible possible. Their weapons, though primitive by galactic standards, were uniquely designed to overcome the Empire's complacency. Each railgun round, each missile strike, was a testament to the human spirit, resourceful, relentless, and unyielding. Meanwhile, the Galactic fleet's morale began to crumble. Ships once hailed as symbols of invincibility were now debris scattered across the skies. Lower-ranking officers questioned their leaders, and whispers of mutiny spread through the ranks. The commanders, desperate to regain control, ordered all-out bombardments. Yet even this failed to tip the scales. Earth's defenses held strong, and for every ship the Empire lost, humanity's resolve only grew stronger. Humanity's response wasn't just about survival. It was about sending a message. Each strike was calculated, not just to destroy but to humiliate. Earth wanted the galaxy to see what happened when the so-called Unbreakable met the unyielding. Human broadcasts were transmitted back to the Empire, showing not just the destruction of their ships but the unity and determination of Earth's people. One message, played on a loop, became the rallying cry of the resistance. You may have come to conquer, but you'll leave as nothing more than ashes in the wind. For the first time in its history, the Galactic Empire faced an opponent it could not subjugate with sheer force. The humans had turned their greatest strength, their technology, into a glaring vulnerability. What had been a one-sided show of power was now a desperate struggle for survival. The once mighty empire, accustomed to victory, now found itself on the brink of an unthinkable defeat. The tide had turned, and humanity, against all odds, was winning. The Unbreakable was breaking, and the galaxy was watching. The Empire's commanders, once calm and composed, were now in chaos. The battlefield reports told a story they couldn't believe. Their mighty fleet, the pride of the Galactic Empire, was crumbling. Ship after ship fell to Earth's relentless assault, their shields pierced, their hulls torn apart, and their formations scattered. It wasn't just a tactical failure, it was a humiliation. For centuries, they had dominated the galaxy with the belief that their technology made them untouchable. Now, that belief was a pile of debris floating in Earth's orbit. Desperation drove them to escalate. Orders were issued for an all-out bombardment, targeting Earth's largest cities. If they couldn't break humanity's will through strength, they would do so with terror. Massive plasma cannons adjusted their targeting algorithms, their energy cores glowing with destructive potential. The Empire's logic was simple. If Earth refused to submit, they would be made an example. But humanity had anticipated this. Defensive networks sprang into action, intercepting the first wave of plasma strikes. Railgun platforms, positioned strategically across the globe, created a dense web of counterfire that disrupted the Empire's bombardment patterns. Shielding systems, built in secret and hidden underground, absorbed the brunt of the attacks, protecting key population centers. It wasn't perfect. Some strikes made it through, causing destruction and loss of life. But humanity had learned to adapt even to the Empire's most devastating weapons. Even as cities burned and chaos erupted on the surface, humanity's resolve only hardened. Across the globe, engineers worked around the clock, repairing damaged systems and preparing for the next wave. Soldiers and civilians alike stood together, their collective spirit unshaken. They knew the stakes. This wasn't just about survival. It was about proving that humanity could stand against the greatest power in the galaxy and prevail. The Empire's retaliation only made humanity fight harder. For every ship they lost, Earth's forces became more coordinated. Scientists identified weaknesses in the Empire's tactics, exploiting gaps in their formations. Military leaders adjusted strategies on the fly, leveraging the planet's terrain and atmosphere to their advantage. What the Empire saw as chaos was, in reality, humanity's greatest strength, a refusal to give up, no matter the odds. The turning point came when Earth's forces targeted the flagship of the fleet. It was a colossal vessel, bristling with weapons and protected by the most advanced shielding in the Empire's arsenal. To the Galactic commanders, it was a symbol of their dominance, a fortress that no enemy could breach. To humanity, it was the ultimate challenge. If they could bring it down, they could break the Empire's spirit. Railguns, missiles, and kinetic weapons converged on the flagship in a coordinated strike. The ship's shields flared brilliantly, holding for a moment before buckling under the concentrated assault. The explosion that followed was visible from the surface, a fiery burst that lit up the night sky. Cheers erupted across Earth as the flagship disintegrated, its remains scattering into the void. It was more than a victory, it was a declaration. The Galactic Empire was not invincible. Panic spread through the remaining fleet. Ships began retreating, their commanders prioritizing survival over loyalty. The Empire's once unified force fractured as some vessels attempted to regroup, while others fled entirely. The Galactic Council, watching the battle from their distant stronghold, issued a recall order. They would not waste any more resources on what they now considered a lost cause. For the first time in their history, the Empire had been forced to retreat. On Earth, the sight of the Empire's ships withdrawing brought a wave of relief and triumph. Soldiers embraced each other, their faces streaked with sweat and tears. Engineers, exhausted but victorious, slumped against their consoles. Across the globe, humanity celebrated. They had faced the mightiest fleet in the galaxy and emerged victorious. The cost had been high, cities lay in ruins, lives had been lost, but the message was clear: humanity would not be conquered. As the debris of the battle settled, Earth's leaders prepared a final broadcast. It wasn't just for the Empire, it was for the entire galaxy. They knew the battle had been watched by countless other civilizations, many of whom had likely suffered under the Empire's rule. Humanity's victory was more than just a defense of their home. It was a beacon of hope. The broadcast was simple, yet powerful. To those who seek freedom, know that the Empire can be fought. To those who seek peace, know that Earth stands with you. But to those who bring war, know this: we will fight, and we will win. The Galactic Empire, now nursing its wounds, scrambled to control the narrative. Propaganda flooded their networks, claiming the battle was an isolated anomaly, a minor setback in their otherwise unbroken reign. But the galaxy knew the truth. Rumors spread of humanity's defiance, of their ingenuity and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Other species, once cowed by the Empire's might, began to dream of their own resistance. Humanity's victory was a spark, igniting fires of rebellion across the stars. On Earth, the focus shifted to rebuilding. The scars of the battle were deep, but humanity had always been resilient. Cities would rise again, stronger than before. The debris of the Empire's fleet, now scattered across the planet, became a symbol of their triumph. Engineers and scientists began studying the wreckage, eager to turn the remnants of the Empire's technology into tools for humanity's future. The battle for Earth was over, but its legacy had only just begun. Humanity had faced the unbreakable and emerged unbroken. The galaxy would never see them as mere prey again. The aftermath of the battle left the Galactic Empire in a state of disarray. For centuries, their dominance had been absolute, their technology the benchmark for power, and their fleets symbols of invincibility. But now, whispers of their defeat on Earth echoed across the galaxy. They had been brought low not by a rival empire or advanced coalition, but by a single primitive species that refused to kneel. It was a blow to their pride, their reputation, and their control over the countless civilizations they had subjugated. On Earth, the mood was a mixture of relief and determination. The battle had been won, but humanity knew the war wasn't over. The Empire would regroup, reassess, and one day return. Yet, that inevitability didn't spark fear, it fueled resolve. Earth's leaders convened in emergency councils, joined by scientists, engineers, and military strategists. The goal was clear: ensure that the next time the Empire came, humanity would not just survive but thrive. Project Shatterpoint's success had proven the effectiveness of human ingenuity, but it also highlighted the work still to be done. The Empire's wreckage, scattered across the planet, became the foundation of a new era of innovation. Salvage teams worked tirelessly to recover and study the remnants of the fleet. Engineers dissected alien technology, reverse engineering components that could enhance Earth's own capabilities. Shield generators, propulsion systems, and weapon platforms. Each discovery brought humanity one step closer to leveling the playing field. Across the galaxy, the Empire's defeat had sent shockwaves. Civilizations long thought dormant began stirring. On distant worlds, Species once enslaved by the Empire saw Earth's victory as a sign that resistance was possible. Underground movements gained momentum, with messages of rebellion spreading like wildfire. The phrase "Remember Earth" became a rallying cry for those who had suffered under the Empire's iron fist. The Empire, for its part, attempted to suppress the fallout. Propaganda campaigns painted the battle as a minor setback, a temporary glitch in their otherwise unbroken history of conquest. Yet, the cracks in their facade were impossible to ignore. Their withdrawal from Earth wasn't just a military failure. It was a message to the galaxy that they were no longer untouchable. The Council of Commanders, the Empire's highest authority, held emergency sessions to debate their next move. While some advocated for immediate retaliation, others warned against underestimating humanity again. Divisions within the Empire's leadership deepened, weakening the unity that had once been their greatest strength. Meanwhile, Earth's focus turned outward. For the first time, humanity wasn't just looking to defend its home but to take its place among the stars. Research initiatives aimed at space exploration and colonization accelerated. The wreckage of the Empire's fleet provided the technological leap humanity needed to build faster ships, stronger defenses, and advanced infrastructure. What the Empire had intended as a display of dominance had become the catalyst for humanity's rise. The Galactic Empire's defeat also brought unexpected alliances. Neighboring civilizations, some of which had watched the battle in secret, reached out to Earth. Tentative alliances were formed, built on mutual distrust of the Empire. These species, many of whom had endured centuries of oppression, shared intelligence, resources, and strategies. What began as a loose coalition of the downtrodden evolved into the seeds of a rebellion that spanned light years. Despite these victories, humanity did not underestimate the threat that remained. The Empire was wounded, not defeated. Their fleets were vast, their resources immense, and their pride wounded in a way that demanded retribution. Earth's leaders knew they had bought time, not peace. Preparations for the inevitable second confrontation became a global priority. Military academies trained a new generation of soldiers and strategists, while scientists worked tirelessly to push Earth's technological boundaries even further. Yet, it wasn't just humanity preparing for war. On distant worlds, hidden rebel factions used the distraction of Earth's victory to strike against the Empire. Supply lines were disrupted, outposts sabotaged, and loyalist systems challenged. What had once been a galaxy united under the Empire's rule was now fracturing. The seeds of rebellion, planted by humanity's defiance, began to grow in the shadows. For the Galactic Empire, the cost of their arrogance became undeniable. Resources once devoted to expansion were now redirected to quelling uprisings. Fleet deployments, which had once been symbols of conquest, were now stretched thin as they struggled to maintain order. The balance of power in the galaxy was shifting, and at the heart of it was a small, unassuming planet that had refused to break. Humanity's victory was more than just a moment of defiance. It was a turning point in galactic history. Earth had proven that even the most powerful empires could be challenged, that unity and ingenuity could overcome impossible odds. The galaxy watched as humanity transformed from a backwater species to a force capable of reshaping the future. The scars of the battle would remain, both on Earth and in the memories of those who had fought. But those scars were a testament to humanity's resilience. They served as a reminder that the unbreakable was only as strong as the will behind it. And in the case of the Galactic Empire, that will had faltered when faced with humanity's unyielding spirit. As Earth rebuilt and the galaxy stirred, one thing became clear. The Empire's reign of unquestioned dominance was over. What came next was uncertain, but humanity stood ready. They had proven that they could fight, that they could win, and that they would not be silenced. The unbreakable had been broken, and the galaxy would never be the same.